No, I'm not asking to withdraw as his lawyer. I'm asking for the court to be recused.
All right, well, and if you want a motion to recuse, another judge will have to hear that.
That's correct, Judge. So I'm a few more days to properly
Oh, there's
prepare.
nothing for me to do on the case once you file that.
The courtroom microphone crackles. A defense attorney clears her throat. No, I'm not asking to withdraw as his lawyer. I'm asking for the court to be recused. That single sentence, spoken on May 22nd in a Bexar County courtroom, would eventually remove Judge Stephanie Boyd from a domestic violence case. But not before she finished what she was about to do. Sentence the defendant to 4 years in prison. Picture a single sheet of paper inside a manila case file. On it, a typed line, verified motion to recuse. That piece of paper didn't argue the facts of the case. It argued that the judge herself was the problem. When the legal system finally turned its own machinery on itself, it agreed. The paperwork caught up. The defendant Shayen Ross had taken a plea. His attorney stood before Judge Boyd and asked for deferred adjudication, a chance to avoid a felony conviction. Ross had no prior convictions. He had been in contact with an Army recruiter. He had lost over 100 pounds in jail, suffering from psoriasis and food intolerances that the jail struggled to accommodate. The victim, the mother of his 3 children, had left the state. The prosecutor and defense had reached an agreement. Judge Boyd listened, then rejected it.
In that time frame.
All right, so what I can
And
tell
they'll
you,
have to accept the
he's not a
transfer.
good candidate for probation.
He's not?
No, he's not. And let me just tell you why. Based upon everything that I've seen, there was a protective order in place, and you were calling the complainant from the Bexar County jail. I mean, does he not understand what no contact means? No contact means no contact. And then we have this charge where you're choking her. So he's not a good candidate for probation. I'm not giving him probation.
Well,
In each
Judge,
cause number, I'm finding him guilty. I'm going to sentence him to 4 years in the prison, give him credit for any time served. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. The cases are to run concurrently. There's to be no contact with the complainant and no contact with minors.
Based upon everything that I've seen, there was a protective order in place, and you were calling the complainant from the Bexar County jail. Well, he's not a good candidate for probation. I'm not giving him probation. 4 years, concurrent with an affirmative finding of family violence. Ross raised his hand as the bailiff moved to take him away, and that's when the story split. The judge, wanting to be seen as fair, brought him back off the record.
All right. The last time you were here, and I'd like for people to feel as though, and not actually just feel as though, but to have had a chance to speak to the court, and it appeared that you wanted to speak to me.
Yes, I do.
All right, and what did you want to speak to me about?
Yeah, I have a second to breathe. I kind of got worked up a little bit.
I'm sorry, what?
Can I have a second to breathe? I kind of
Sure.
worked up a little bit. Just pertaining the case, and I know when you went over it, you seen that the protective order was violated multiple times. It's not. I know it. If you read police reports or a person's victim's testimony of what happened, sometimes it could, it's up to the court, your discretion to see if, try to make sense of it, I guess. But when it comes to probably a protective order, we have children together, and to be honest, like I never been in any trouble before in my life pertaining like legal system and having to no contact, like the contact order with my children. And I was a sole provider for my children. Like she was a stay-at-home mother. And when I went back home, like the no contact order, I went back home, but I was the only person on the lease, and I didn't have anywhere else to go. And honestly, from what we talked about pertaining me and her, we were fine on good terms, etc. So to be honest, I didn't think it was gonna be any more.
But see, here's the thing about it is that there's an offense against you for choking, right? And when you think about it, choking a person, that means you're face to face with them. They can't breathe, and you're still choking them. Now, you have that, so you have to know that there's a no contact order in place. And when you're saying, oh, well, I leased the apartment or the house or whatever, that's why I was going back there. Okay, I understand that. But when you were placed in custody at the jail, both parties agreed, your attorney agreed and the state agreed that you were actually contacting her from the jail. And so the thing about it is you already have this violent offense for choking someone. And then on top of that, you are continuing to contact them from the jail. You had to know you couldn't contact people from the jail. And that just shows the court that you can't follow rules. And she has, according to the testimony that is taken, she left town and is no longer in Texas or wherever she may be. Then, it is what it is. She left town. Maybe she left because maybe she's thinking, I leave town, he doesn't know where I am, then he can stop contacting me. But that's where we are.
Yes.
Sure.
To be, I don't know how much I say before.
Well, you're not under oath.
Oh, okay. Well, I could speak freely. Yes. Your Honor, he came back and forth to see me unannounced. Came to the house unannounced. When she was in a woman's home in Fredericksburg, she was they kicked her out of the woman's home, and the police had to come or whatever to escort her away. She came to the house on February 4th or 5th, unannounced, midnight, because I wasn't speaking to her because we were talking during the protective order. We have children. I was sending money for my children, or she would bring the children so we could see them. We would eat together.
Right, so here's my question. Were you sending money to the children from the jail? That's a no.
No.
But you were still calling her from the jail, and that had nothing to do with anything. So here's the thing. I wanted to hear you out because I know I didn't get a chance to fully explain to you why I didn't grant you probation. But the reason why I didn't grant you probation is because you have a crime where you choke her. And then after you choke her, you continue to contact her. What I'm letting you know is I understand, okay, you're on the lease, you go to the apartment or to the home because you're on the lease and you're trying to make sure that the children have food or have money. That's fine. But then you proceed to call her on numerous times from the Bexar County jail. That's a no. And for the court, part of the reason why I didn't grant you probation is because based upon your actions, you're telling me you can't follow conditions of probation. So that is why.
Actually, Your Honor, if possible, because before this happened, I was enlisted actively in the military. I was enrolled into medical school for LMRT classes to become a radiologist. And my classes started in March 2025. I've been in and out of grew up in the jail, etc., house arrest, etc. since then. I understand exactly where you coming from and how it could seem to the court, or even like the charge, or etc. I've been sitting in jail and dealing with different health reasons, low potassium and low liver enzymes since the date of my arrest, December 5th to March 18th. I was admitted to the hospital. I had lost 110 pounds because I wouldn't eat because I had psoriasis, which is like my skin breaks out from certain foods, meat, dairy, etc., sugars, have you. I grew up in a family with my immediate household was my father, my brother, and myself. Out of us three, both of them are felons, and neither one of them graduated high school. I'm the only one who graduated high school. I'm the only one who wasn't a felon. So applying for the probation and adjudication was trying to save me from becoming a felon. I took pride in not having any criminal history. If you could so grant me I don't have obviously lawyer here, but I was thinking,
You can always come back with your attorney. I tell you what, I'll have you come back with your attorney. If you want to come back with an attorney, you can.
no, I'm just speaking to you. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I just don't want to be a strain on my family, and being that I know that I would abide to any probation adjudication, especially the first, I can try to save my record and save me to be able to go on and have a career in any field or even enlist in the army still. I would say if you could maybe think or ponder on doubling the sentence to 8 years probation deferred and double the fines. And if you could possibly consider a no harmful contact, because Carissa has my children and no one, Carissa has my children, she has my car, she has a bunch of my possessions. No, from our family, both of our families know each other. I knew Carissa since I was 14 years old. Both of our families know each other. Carissa doesn't, her family has, she's left her family.
Let me just tell you this, what I would suggest to you is speak to your attorney. The reason why I had you brought back is because I felt that there is something you wanted to say. And I know I didn't get a chance to explain to you why I made the ruling I made. And I will tell you, we're always taught as judges never to explain our rulings, just make the ruling and move on. But I don't like to do that because I don't want people to think that I haven't heard their story or I'm not paying attention to them or that I'm not looking at them as individuals. So I noticed as you were being taken away, you were raising your hand. And that made me realize that I really didn't get a chance to explain to you why I ruled the way I ruled. Now, if you're asking or wanting me to perhaps do some type of different sentence, and for me to consider that, then your attorney will need to file a specific motion for that. The coordinator will let your attorney know, and we'll go from there, okay?
May I say something?
Sure.
From I was told yesterday that my lawyer or attorney made motions for reconsideration and a bunch of other motions.
I haven't received those.
That's what I was told from my family when I called them. Before I went up here, this is all off the record.
Yeah, we're off the record.
Um,
The court reporter is not taking anything down.
I didn't understand what I signed with the silent.
All right, so here's the thing. You need to talk to your attorney about that. So everything else that you're about to say now, you need to talk to your attorney. Your attorney can file whatever motion she chooses to file, okay?
No, I was getting to what
No, you're getting to places that
I
you
was
should not
stuck
get
there.
to.
I was stuck there, but I'm saying that before we came up here, I was told several times that I could be able to.
No. Here's the thing. You are now trying to, or well, attempting to wade into legal matters. And I think you should have your attorney here to discuss that. All right? So, Ms. Ferguson,
Yes,
has a motion been filed by his attorney?
I need to double check that, Judge, I don't, do you have his case number, Judge?
No.
They're right.
Okay. All right, and if they have filed, if she has filed something, we'll put it on a docket for it to be heard, and Ms. Ferguson will set it. So just have a seat, and Ms. Ferguson, if she finds something, we'll set it, all right? Okay, so when are we available to hear whatever motion she has filed?
I can do it the first week of June. I need to contact Anita to make sure she's available.
She let him speak. He talked about his children, his medical collapse, his recruitment hopes. She explained her ruling. Then his attorney filed that motion, not to withdraw her representation, to recuse the judge.
That's correct, Judge. So I filed a motion to withdraw the plea, and I've also filed a verified motion to recuse.
All right, I don't have the motion to withdraw before me.
I have copies. So
And
that's
you
why
want to
I'm-
withdraw?
No, I'm not asking to withdraw as his lawyer. I'm asking for the court to be recused.
All right. Well, what I can
So-
tell you is I'm not reconsidering any sentencing. And if you want a motion to recuse, another judge will have to hear that.
That's correct, Judge. So I'm asking that it be, and I know the state's asking for a few more days to properly.
Oh, there's
prepare.
nothing for me to do on the case once you file that.
Another judge would have to hear it. Weeks later, visiting Judge Donna S. Reyes granted the continuance. Then, on July 16th, the motion was granted. Judge Boyd was removed. The case landed before Judge Lisa Jarrett, who reviewed the same file and reached a completely different conclusion: deferred adjudication, 8 years of community supervision, 200 hours of community service.
Thank you.
Because the motion sought Judge Boyd's recusal, another judge had to step in to handle the matter. On June 24th, the recusal hearing was held before visiting Judge Donna S. Reyes in Bexar County. Instead of deciding the issue that day, Judge Reyes granted the defense's request for a continuance, giving both sides more time before a ruling would be made. With no immediate decision, Ross remained in custody while everyone waited to see whether Judge Boyd would stay on the case. Weeks later, on July 16th, the answer finally came. The motion to recuse was granted. Judge Stephanie Boyd was officially removed from any further proceedings, bringing her involvement in the case to an end.
My name is Lisa Jarrett, and I'm the judge of the 436th District Court.
With Judge Boyd no longer presiding, the case was reassigned. The next hearing would be handled by Judge Lisa Jarrett, who now had the authority to review the defense's pending motions, including the request to reconsider Ross's sentence. What happened next surprised many people. After reviewing the case, Judge Jarrett reached a very different conclusion. Instead of leaving Ross's 4-year prison sentence in place, she granted deferred adjudication, placed him on 8 years of community supervision.
The 4-year prison sentence evaporated. The paperwork caught up. Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to Crime Files 911. Because we don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence. But a single hearing does not a system reveal. The same week those motions flew in Bexar County, a woman named Miss Morgan stood in a Michigan courtroom asking to set aside 2 old convictions for assaulting and obstructing police. The incident had happened years ago. She still carried it in her body.
Well, I was abused that whole night. I had brought out body cams with that lawyer that I had. He's not saying any of that, Judge. He's not saying anything about how he punched me into my head multiple times. The only reason why I went to go into the truck with the key is to turn my alarm off. And I was in handcuffs already. I got slammed to the ground. I got almost beaten to death outside and in the jail.
All right. Well, I was there. Obviously, I didn't see what happened. What lawyer represented you in the matter?
I don't remember her name, but I know she was tall and she had red hair.
Okay. Was she your criminal?
It was a
lawyer?
long time ago, so
Yeah,
I
it
really
might have been Laura Joyce, I suppose.
Yes,
She's with
yes,
the
I think
defender's
that's
office and
yes.
fits your description. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, the bottom line though is that even after reviewing the cameras and the information during the investigation, none of those agencies found a reason to, sustain your complaint or even write a letter of reprimand, much less take any disciplinary action. It sounds to me like that the allegations, weren't supported adequately by the video and things like that, or I would have expected some sort of outcome to come out of those investigations. So, I guess
They
I
didn't
got-
even give me a chance to, even voice my opinion on how that happened. Even my auntie was the one who called the police and lied. How am I driving with my daughter when my car was parked in my auntie's yard and my dad had my keys? See, nobody was there, to actually see really what happened.
Yeah.
My whole family seen it, and I feel like how they almost killed me that night. I feel that I should have a chance of freedom of all the good. I mean, I've been good for how many years? I haven't even been a felon. My background isn't even bad. I'm not that type of person.
Why don't you
But for
describe to me some of the other things you've been up to since that time?
I got me a job. I work at sanitation.
Okay.
I
How long you been
I
working there?
DoorDash. I have a 14-year-old daughter.
How long you been working?
Almost a month now.
Okay.
It just hurts me because they almost killed me. And my mental state is really bad against, like, I'm scared to death of the police. How a man feels like they can punch me in my head that hard and so many times and expecting me just to take it. And how they threw me in the holding cell and put their knees in my back, sir.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I of course wasn't there. I didn't see any of those things. I do see that, ultimately coming out of that, you did plead to the two. Uh,
They
were
made me plead to that too. And it also says attempt as a misdemeanor.
right.
They
They were
made me
both
plead to that.
attempted. Yeah, yeah,
They
both
made me plead to
misdemeanors.
that because of what they did. They didn't want me to go further with what they did to me out there.
Well, I mean,
Body cams were shown in the court and everything.
when I do take pleas, every week. And when you take one, you do have to say that, you are guilty of what the charges are and that, no one's threatening you or, making any side deals with you, as it were. And it sounds like then that, um, you know,
In that court hearing, it was all types of side deals. The man wasn't even there during any court hearing. I just don't find this fair at all.
well, I understand. However, part of the set aside process is, uh, the taking the responsibility for what happened in the past. And it sounds like, unfortunately, you're just not there yet. And, there may be,
Oh,
say, I don't understand the underlying, um,
well, is there any way that I could push this further of them beating me since they want to push everything away? Because if I can't do this now, then I'm going to push this through the courts of how they put their hands on me and almost kill me
yeah,
over a
well,
lie
with
that
regard
somebody
to that,
called on me.
yeah, the only thing I can advise is certainly a lawyer could take up those complaints. If they found there was enough of a case there, you could
Yes,
bring.
I am because I would really like and I would like to if anyone could send me his information the where I can give to a lawyer because this right here I feel that's not right that a police officer had a right to punch me as big as he is with handcuffs on me in the back of my head
All
so
right.
many
Well, here's
times.
what I'll do is I'm gonna deny it today. However, I'll mark on the denial that you can reapply in a year. That'll give you some time to go through it with a lawyer. Um, Guy I used to work with, Steve Drew, handles complaints against police officers. He's at
Yes, I would really like to
Drew
push
Cooper and
through with that
Anding. If
because
you want someone to review the case, he'll at least review it. And I can't make any comment as to its merit, but you can certainly tell Steve that Judge Rossi recommended him, as an attorney to possibly review the case at least. So,
yeah, because I want to reopen that up or something because I feel that that's not right that that happened to me in front of my daughter.
yeah, no, and I
In
guess
front
what
of
I'm getting
everybody.
here,
My daughter had to see them abuse me and almost kill me outside, throw me in a police car, and then all of them did it to me in jail.
yeah.
If that, I wish that lawyer was here because she understood exactly and she seen what happened.
Well, and certainly if,
And
Miss
that
Joyce is,
man, he has no heart with God. That's
all
all
right.
I can say.
Well, Miss Joyce still works at the defender's office. I'd certainly be willing to either hear her testimony or review any letter or anything she would submit in support. But what I've got right now is two different, sides of the story saying the opposite thing. I've
I
got
feel
you
that you're
saying this was
believing
terrible, and
him. You're taking
yeah.
his side.
Well, all I
And
can,
that's okay. That's
yeah,
okay because like I said, God sees what happens and how people treats people.
I
And
agree, and
justice
all I can say
is
is,
not served
yeah,
with this.
yeah, and it seems like the paperwork, at least on,
And for
from
you to
his
sit
perspective,
there and
cleared him.
discriminate towards me like I didn't learn knowing you wasn't there, I feel that ain't right either, sir. That's
Yep,
not
no,
right at all.
I understand
So
the,
yeah, I would like to push this further,
yep,
very
and you can
higher. And I,
also
matter of fact,
appeal,
I want to sue him for
yep.
abusing me and almost killing me.
Well, I'd like to say I'd recommend on the civil side, talk to Steve Drew. He can give you the parameters if it's a good case or not. That he
Oh,
will.
it's definitely going to be a good case because then body cams is going to get brought back in.
All right. Well,
So
like I
yeah,
say,
I appreciate that.
And then you can bring this to set it aside again in a year when maybe there's a little more clarity on
I don't see how it's clarity when you're not even you're listening to mainly what he did and say it's okay for a man to abuse a woman.
Well, I don't want to say that, but I would do say that, it looks like from his perspective, at least, all those internal investigations that they did in the Department of Civil Rights, I assume did not find
He
any
the one who stopped
cause.
all that. He did. So
Well, but
yes.
those are independent, they have some.
But for you to sit
duties.
there and discriminate towards me, though, out of a
Well,
whole
I'm
7
not
years
trying to
that
be
I never been a
discriminatory
felon,
yet.
I never assaulted nobody, I never did anything like that. So yeah, for you to say that to me, that's not right at all.
Yep,
So
I
yeah,
understand your
let's push
position,
this
but
further, and I'd rather end this.
yep, I'm just reading the file. So the request is
Exactly. That's
denied
all
at
you're
this
doing
time.
is reading a file. You're
No, and
not
that's
sitting
all I
here
can.
understanding as a man, feeling it's okay for them to punch me all in my head and throw me on the ground for a lie that my auntie said. That
All
was
right.
the whole thing was a lie. And I'm going to push that too because it's not right to make false lies to the police.
All right.
That's
Well,
against the law.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm more than willing to hear additional evidence, but it'll have to be a year from now.
That's all right. That's
We can
fine.
bring
What
it
I
again.
might as well end it now then.
I was abused that whole night, she told the judge. The only reason why I went to go into the truck with the key is to turn my alarm off. And I was in handcuffs already. I got slammed to the ground. I got almost beaten to death outside and in the jail. Picture a body camera lens, still sealed in an evidence bag that captured what the internal affairs investigation later dismissed. That footage existed. It was viewed. It just never changed a single line in a police report. The detective assigned to the case wrote a letter to the court. He asked the judge to deny her request. He listed the results. The internal affairs complaint was not sustained. The Department of Civil Rights found no violation. The allegations of excessive force and discrimination were deemed false. The judge read that letter aloud on the record. He weighed the administrative conclusions against the woman's trembling voice. "I'm just reading the file," he said. And that was the point of fracture. "Exactly. That's all you're doing is reading a file," she shot back. "You're not sitting here understanding as a man feeling it's okay for them to punch me." The judge had already made up his mind. The institutional machinery had already spoken. The internal investigations, the civil rights complaints, they were the paperwork. And she was standing on the other side of a glass wall, watching a judge flip through pages that had already acquitted everyone but her. The motion was denied. She was told she could reapply in a year. The paperwork had already caught up to her, and it had brought its own verdict with it. Now pivot to a courtroom in Harris County, Texas, where a different kind of paper was the weapon. A woman stood before a judge, her bond conditions hanging in the air. She had been ordered not to drive. She had signed an affidavit. But someone told the court she was driving again. The judge's face tightened. "That's why I have my eye on you. And when I have someone telling me that you're driving now repeatedly, I have a big problem with that because I've ordered you not to drive. And I had you sign an affidavit. And so help me? If I find that you're driving one way or the other, I'm going to freaking lose it." Picture that signed affidavit, ink long dry, sitting in a courthouse folder while the woman's grandmother shuttles her son to school. The judge didn't care about the logistics. He cared about the signature. He cared about the order.
I don't care. My only concern is if she's driving. So help me.
Yeah, they're doing a lot. They've also called CPS, which I haven't even had my son, and they're calling CPS and telling them a lot of this is.
Which is probably with your criminal history.
I understand.
Rightfully.
I understand.
Put yourselves in the shoes of someone else, right? Would you want a baby in the custody of someone that has that kind of criminal history? You know? Really?
His father has criminal history as well, and
you're trying to justify it.
If you just can give me 2 seconds. I've never used that against him. I lost my daughter from a different father, so he doesn't know anything that I've been going through. My brother killed himself in 2016 in the parking lot of the Harris County Sheriff's Department on Clay Road. I don't know if you heard about it or saw the news article.
I understand that you have issues. I get it.
What I'm saying is I've never used any of that against them. I've been very amicable with them.
We're having two different conversations. We're having two different, like what I'm trying to impart to you is that you're talking about custody. right? And I am too. But I'm talking you having custody of someone. What matters is, and when you're single, it's all about you, right? You can do whatever the hell you want to do. You can go here, you can go there, you can stay out up 3 days doing whatever you want to do. When you get married, it's about your significant other, right? You always think about your significant other because that's what a marriage is, right? It's a chain link fence. And when the link is broken too much, the fence falls apart. When you have a kid, it's not about you. It's not about your significant other. It's only about the baby. Nothing else matters. And that's why two people who cannot get along, who have drug issues, have no business bringing another life because they can't even take care of themselves. And you, with the baggage that you have, while you may be a great person, there's too much drama, too much PTSD for a baby to put into the mix. Because everything that you do will impact the baby one way or the other. I don't care what they've done. I don't care what they're doing. I don't care how many cases. You are the one that has the baby. You need to make the sound decision. I know you don't have the baby, but what I'm telling you, if and you do at some point, my concern here is public safety. I don't care about your baby. I don't care about your grandmother. I don't care about your husband. I don't give a rat's ass about anything about that. But with you,
My concern here is public safety. I don't care about your baby. I don't care about your grandmother. I don't care about your husband. I don't give a rat ass about anything about that. His voice didn't rise. It flattened. He recited her criminal history, DWI, SGI, retaliation I, assault of a public servant.
DWI, FSGI, retaliation, DWI, assault of a public servant. That's why I have my eye on you. And when I have someone telling me that you're driving now repeatedly, I have a big problem with that because I've ordered you not to drive and I had you sign an affidavit. And so help me, if I find that you're driving one way or the other, I'm going to freaking lose it. You better not be driving. I don't care what is going on in your life. I don't care who you have to pick up. Do you understand me?
Then he delivered his thesis. He was going to make the experience so miserable that she would think twice. He called it a method to the madness.
Unfortunately, you're in the crossfire, and I'm sorry, but I have a method to the madness. Because, I mean, when people have really, really miserable experiences here, that's when they really start to think twice. God, I really had such a bad experience. I don't want to come back. I don't know if that was this yet, because we're pleading now, and but we'll see. But thank you, and I'm sorry that you had to go through this with us. If you think that this is the easy way out, you are 100% mistaken. I told you that I was going to make it a miserable experience, and that's what I'm going to do. You will be expected to continue with what you were doing now. And at the first instance you try to toy with me, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to put you in jail. And now you will be stuck like Chuck because I'm going to put you in a rehab facility in the jail. It's a minimum of 9 months, depending on how well you respond to treatment. And if you don't respond well, you're looking at about 1.5 years in custody. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that you're not going to kill yourself
Sober court weekly check-ins, random drug tests, community service, victim impact panels, daily A. And if she failed, a warrant jail, rehab inside the jail, a minimum of 9 months.
Now stand charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. So what I want to do with you is Sober Court. Sober Court is a program that helps you get your life on track. And if you do well with them, they help you get a license for you to drive. But it's a program that's rewards you with things, right? You're now going to be doing a DWI education class. You'll be doing victim impact panels. You'll be doing community service. Depending on how well you do with them, they reward you. The rewards are that they will take away your community service and they will help you get a license. In fact, they will pay for you to get a license and a occupational, which is expensive. It's not cheap, but they will reward you with these things to help you pay for these things if you do well with them. That means attending, showing up, and not doing what you say you're going to do when in fact you're not doing it. You have to provide proof. Until we get you into Sober Court, though, you were with me. And if you try to play this game with me, I will put you in lockup until we get you into Sober.
The paperwork would always be waiting. In each of these 3 courtrooms, the same silent transaction occurred. A motion, a letter, a signed order. Documents that held more authority than any person standing before the bench. The defendant who said she was beaten could not overcome a file that said the complaint was unsupported. The young man facing a felony could not escape a judge's wrath until a separate piece of paper removed that judge entirely. The woman with multiple DWIs could sign all the promises she wanted. The signed order forbidding her to drive was the only thing the court would ever truly trust. The system does not run on justice. It runs on filings. And when the filings turn against you, your voice becomes noise. The paperwork caught up. So here's the question I'm leaving with you tonight, and I want you to answer it in the comments. In the case of Shayen Ross, Bexar County cause number 25CR3533, a judge was recused after she had already handed down a 4-year sentence. A second judge later granted deferred adjudication. Was the recusal a correction or a confession that the first sentence should never have been handed down in the first place? I'm not asking for legal theories. I'm asking what your gut tells you after watching these 3 moments. The full recusal motion is a public document. Read it yourself. Then come back and tell the rest of us when the paperwork finally tells the truth. Is anyone in the system held accountable? If you want more breakdowns like this one, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who still trusts the system blindly, subscribe to Crime Files 911, and turn on notifications. The evidence doesn't sleep, and neither do we.